Hey everyone, welcome to our Wednesday Live once again with myself, Lynn. I'm the Customer Success Manager here at Supermums, and my partner in crime, Shelley. Would you like to introduce yourself?
Hello, yes. So I'm Shelley Brion. I'm in the United States and I am one of the success coaches here at Supermums. Really excited to spend some time with you today.
Excellent. So I think today we're talking about job roles and how you can progress your career by upskilling. So I think, Shelley, you have a lovely screen to share. So if you want to share your screen, and then we'll go ahead and give these lovely viewers some information.
Perfect. Absolutely. And wanted to take this opportunity to talk to all of you about some job categories and some areas in Salesforce that are really smart and have some wonderful career progression. We often get, as we talk to people who are looking to pivot or upskill, maybe elevate their careers, we get asked all the time, like, what are the career paths and what are opportunities? And we find that often people have a few ideas or kind of narrow ideas, and we want to share some buckets of opportunities, but then we'll also share another resource that talks about places in the ecosystem that you may not even be aware of and focusing on for opportunities. So what I'm going to do is first, I'm going to share a screen with you that is a resource that Salesforce, the corporation, puts out, which is really useful. And that is their career area. And Lynn is going to go ahead and put the link for you in the chat so that you can resource this later. But they do a great job of giving you this area, this career paths, and getting started with this. And one of the things, and these numbers are conservative, and the more recent numbers are even higher. But the reason that we are so excited personally for our Salesforce careers is tied to this, and why it's so easy for us to be enthusiastic about helping others skill up in Salesforce and get well-paid, flexible jobs is because of this. They are expecting another 9.3 million jobs in the ecosystem within the next couple of years, which is really exciting. There are so many posted jobs currently, and the salaries are really healthy, and there's a lot of remote opportunities. This is interesting. There's 23% currently, or as of 21, we find that number has been going up in our community into remote first opportunities. They have a really cool quiz here that you can take that will help you identify some interests, some innate talents, some transferable skills that you might want to consider. And Lynn, you took the quiz today. What was your career match outcome?
Well, it actually said architect, so I'm not really quite sure how it came to that, but
well, mine had me as a Salesforce consultant, which is really what I started my Salesforce journey to do. And so it seems to be a good resource, fun quiz, gives you some things to think about. And then you can see there's a few areas and categories. And what we'll do is talk through these. These are areas you might want to consider looking at to build some skills and start your career or pivot your career. And then we'll pivot into another resource and talk a little bit more about some of the creative journeys and options that you may not have even considered. And the one that I think people so often think of, and in the Supermums community, because we have an ultimate admin course, we talk to a lot of folks that are interested in becoming an admin. This is someone who's really tied to solving complex business problems, using the Salesforce platform. They're the individual, either themselves or part of a team, depending on the organization, that will build and configure. They'll automate technology solutions. They'll create reports and dashboards and manage users. So it's a really exciting space to be in. You have a lot of impact at the organization. It's also a place where if you have the foundational knowledge of that administrator role, you are well suited for the future and future opportunities.
Absolutely. And I think that's one thing that we both say to everyone is, the admin is the foundation for sure, because, whatever you decide to go into in the future, whatever, your transferable skills lend to a particular career opportunity, it's certainly, in my belief, you need to know the system first. So that's where admin is so important. So we also talk about the other roles that you can go into. So you've got Salesforce developer. They will be building applications with code and no code without compromise. So delivering innovative customer experiences and success for their users, teams, and organizations. So I think that the thing to say, with whichever role you're looking at, you and your personality and your transferable skills. I know we talk a lot about transferable skills, but they're so important to see which career path you plan to take in the future.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think this is one that tends to be a higher pay scale. There is strong demand, and there continues to be strong demand. And I would say these skills are really useful for anyone as well in understanding how to really maximize some of the elements of Salesforce that the no code solutions may not always cover. So there's a lot of value in becoming a Salesforce developer, but also just gaining some skills and information. And then we move into that Salesforce consultant role. And that was what interests me so much, because I worked for a customer who implemented Salesforce, and the experience that I had with the consulting team and that implementation was painful. And I really didn't know what I needed to know. And I was very inspired to learn how to leverage Salesforce. So the consultant is someone who is really brought in to tackle the challenges, to see where they want to go, often coming in for project work. They identify goals and create plans and really map out what's going to be the right solutions and giving options. So this is something that is very creative. It is something that you move to various clients. In the past, this role often required a tremendous amount of travel. What we're seeing now is kind of during the pandemic and post-pandemic, many companies have shifted to having, many remote opportunities for consulting, which is a great option for our community and those who tend to be attracted to Supermums.
Absolutely. And I think that, that work-life balance is the important piece for a lot of people that we speak to. And I think although financial stability is also, of course, right up there, a lot of people we talk to, especially mums that want to be at home and spend more time with the family, that's that appears to be the main thing that everybody's looking for. So consultancy is where I expected to find myself, but I actually found myself on the next one, which is architect. So an architect will be designing and building and delivering solutions for businesses and their needs, and thrive in a demanding economy. They possess deep technical knowledge, and they are the lead in technical resource for delivery teams. So, I think a lot of these roles do cross into each other, but I think we're going to go into that in a little bit. So I'm looking forward to that piece. So over to you, Shellen.
Yes, perfect. And this next one is one that has become a richer opportunity, more supported. There's newer certifications to support it. And it's that Salesforce designer side. And this is a great space for those that may be pivoting from other careers, that are really that experience that people have, the visual experience, creating intuitive experiences that allow end users and customers to be really successful, making sure that visually the things are set up correctly, that there is that people orientation to everything of what is this experience? What does it look like? How does it flow? What are the interactions that you can have? And it's something that has come into play around the world because so many customers started with Salesforce and things have continued, but they aren't necessarily set up with that design element. And so many companies are bringing in Salesforce designers to, move their systems into, more modern times, having a much more smooth and modern look and feel and experience.
Absolutely. And then obviously BA, that's something I talk to a lot of people about. That is included in our consultancy course, which is delivered by Heather Black, which I'm sure most of you will know that anyway. And that will be focusing on business improvements and project success. So you would be collaborating with stakeholders to understand business needs and the value and the contents of the customer environment. In terms of our course, our consultancy course, you will find that there are templates that will help you talk to your stakeholders. So that's a really great piece, and that's a piece that a lot of people enjoy.
Yes, absolutely. And I think this skill set is so valuable for any role because of that ability to interface with leaders and other projects and really being able to identify needs and that the solutions that make sense within the context of that specific customer. And something that we've seen really explode in recent years and is becoming more and more relevant is cybersecurity careers and risk. And this is actually where we'll also see some of the AI components come into play and making sure that individuals are up with compliance and their training, their communication, that projects are managed very carefully around cybersecurity. And this is really a nice higher paid role and one that is just kind of exploding in demand around the world.
Absolutely. I think if you get into that, you'll think you've won the lottery. Obviously, marketing careers, for anybody that knows me, they will hear me saying this constantly. Building brand awareness is such an important piece. And obviously, with a marketing career, you get to know your buyers, you get to know your marketing trends. You're looking to generate leads. Of course, that's part of obviously the main reason that you'll be into marketing, and make the most of innovations to stay ahead of competition. Obviously, marketing with the Marketing Cloud course as well, you will be able to learn and to be able to implement Marketing Cloud within Salesforce.
Yes. And we've seen the demand for the marketing roles really just increase and increase. I think the pandemic was a pivot point for many companies as they realized that they needed to be able to create really powerful and successful customer journeys and stay relevant and engaged with their customer base. So this type of technology is being adopted more and more. And this is actually a place and a skill set that isn't as easy to access. So it's one where there is not as many players in the market. So there really is great opportunity there. And then we pivot into sales careers. And I don't know about you, Lynn, but so often people will ask about, what is Salesforce? I'm not into sales. Like I don't want to sell. And, it takes a little bit to teach that, in fact, many roles have nothing to do with, frontline sales, but sales careers is a great space. And last year, Salesforce rolled out a sales related certification to put more, credibility and focus in this area, which is the roots of Salesforce. And this is all about generating that revenue and high value product, addressing customer solutions, leveraging technology, research, and knowledge. So we'll show you some places where you can use that, but that sales career is a great one. And there are 4 areas in the ecosystem that we'll share in just a moment where you can really leverage that sales career. And although this median salary is a little bit lower, I would say for those who are committed and stay focused in the sales journey, they can actually go very high and be higher than most on this page. So it is something that we don't talk about as much day to day with Supermums because we don't have a specific sales course. But I think this is a place that the reason companies invest in Salesforce is to deliver great customer experiences, to generate revenue and profits, and keep customers over time and through their lifetimes.
Absolutely. And the last one on our list today, I mean, there are so many different routes you can take. And obviously they do cross over a lot. Again, we're going to talk about that very shortly. But the last one on our list today is service careers. So, you know, if you're in the service cloud situation and you want to learn more about, you know, cases and customer experiences, you know, if you're great with empathy and efficiency, you want to drive that brand again, there's that word again, you want loyalty and customer retention, you know, it's about providing an exceptional customer experience. And, you know, to do that, you do need to be able to see exactly what you've been doing and see what people have done before you, to be able to leverage your career within services.
Yes. And, you know, service is really interesting one. We just had week 2 of our very first AI course. We partnered with AI Force and have a great 10-week course for AI. We had a special guest, Martin from Slalom, and he shared that for Slalom, the #1 space where AI projects are being invested in is in the service space. So that was really interesting to me. And he had some great stats to share. So many companies are leveraging and moving into AI because of the long-term impacts that are expected. So this could be a place where the median salary is a little lower than some of the others, but I think this could be a game changer in terms of the AI integration with service careers.
Absolutely. And I think as well, you know, while you move on to the next slide, Shellin, I think it's important to say as well that, you know, there is so much progression. I hear people saying to me on a daily basis how they've been stuck in their role for 10, 20, 15 years, whatever, with no sign of progression. And I think, you know, this is a space that you can come in at a certain level, and you can absolutely progress throughout the different roles.
Yeah, absolutely. And we do want to take a moment and just thank you for joining us today. And if you have any career path related questions, either during this live or as you watch the recording, please put them in the comments and we will address them as we go throughout the rest of our time together or even after. So we appreciate you investing your time with us today. And this next resource that I want to share is actually crafted and put together by Salesforce Ben, and they have so many incredible resources. But this one I loved because I find that it gives this really great structure around the ecosystem. So often we think in terms of working for Salesforce or having a situation where, you know, working for a customer. And this is a great one to be able to showcase. There are kind of 4 primary areas where we all have the opportunity to work and build a career. And I'll expand this in a moment so you could see it a little more clearly. But these 4 areas are the end user, so Salesforce customers, and those range from, you know, huge global enterprise companies to very small businesses who know that leveraging technology can make a huge difference. So that end user experience is important.
I've
There's
just actually to say,
sorry,
sorry, Shannon, I was talking over you. I'm really sorry. I was just literally going to tell the viewers that I've dropped in a link for you and for me, so that if you've got any questions that you want and you want a proper chat with us, you can click on that. And I've also dropped in the link for this Salesforce Ben screen that Shelley's sharing. So apologies for interrupting. You carry on.
Thank you. And I would really encourage you to go to Salesforce Ben, because along with this image, which I love this organized way, they do a deep dive into each of the sections and share those beginning jobs, mid-level, and more senior, what those would look like. So definitely check it out. I think it's a very powerful resource. And that, that consultancy component, there are many jobs in there. We'll take a closer look at that for a moment. And then Salesforce as a company, there are thousands and thousands of employees all around the world. And, towers, we have the mothership, so to speak, here in the United States in San Francisco, but there are towers around the world, definitely one in the UK where Supermums is headquartered, and many of our team are there. And there's incredible opportunities that are remote, that are working if you prefer working in an office environment, or hybrid. So Salesforce, the company, is a great place to build a career. The App Exchange, and this is one that I find that, very few people think about, and that App Exchange is all of the companies around, partner companies. And there's so many ways to just dive deep into different niches. But let me go ahead and get a little closer. Actually, let me go ahead and borrow theirs. Here we go. So the end user. So quickly, we can chat about this, but this is Salesforce customers of any size. And you can see that within that space, there's marketing execs and the career path into marketing automation and marketing directors, the developer area, and moving into solution architects and technical directors, the admins, so coming in at that admin level and then moving into CRM manager or product owner, sales operations, moving into RevOps manager, operations director, and just moving across the way as well. So there's so many ways that you can take your career. And Lynn, how often would you say, out of 10 conversations that you have with somebody that's curious about their Salesforce career, that they actually know what they want to do at that moment?
Yeah, not very many, because a lot of people come in and obviously that's what we're here for, to answer the questions that you have about this. But, it's surprising how, as with this screen here, it's great that you can actually come in, you can start doing a role. In terms of myself, I was an end user and I absolutely loved the functionality, which then took me forward to want to learn more about the system. So that's how I came to start training with Supermums. And ultimately, obviously, I came over to work for Supermums. So that was a great success story for me. We do have many success stories. We have many case studies as well, the great thing is with all of these roles is you can integrate them. You can go from one end to the other end and back again, and obviously each role that you would be thinking of doing, there's so much progression within that as well. So in answer to your question, I suppose I've told a big long story there, and I only needed to answer it briefly. But absolutely not very many people come to us that know exactly what they want to do.
Yeah, it's one of the things I think so valuable about a career in Salesforce is the investment that you make in learning and training and, jumping into a role. It's a career path and a total career that you can take in different ways, and you don't have to start all over. You can just continue to move and learn and elevate. We have a lot of individuals in our community who, for whatever reason, are looking for more flexibility. We have a lot of moms, so we welcome everyone. But there's just different times where maybe you want to be a leader and you want more responsibility. You're willing to invest more hours, or perhaps you have a situation, whether it's children or other reasons or other hobbies and adventures, where you want to be an individual contributor and you want to make impact, but you want to do it in the hours that make sense for your life. So we know that individuals can really find the different things that they're looking for without having to make another big career change outside of Salesforce.
And if I can just add in there, I could talk all day about different stories that I have from different people. And I know we often do, Shellin. So that's a conversation we often have. But I've spoken to 2 people this week. One gentleman is in Pakistan. The lady has moved to Northern Ireland. Both of them lived in the UK. They have decided to, for whatever reason, to relocate to the areas I just mentioned. And there are many more I speak to, because obviously we talk to people all over the world. But both of them have taken their jobs with them. So how great is that?
Absolutely. Absolutely. I think it's exciting. And during the times we've lived in, I certainly have an appreciation more than ever before of having a career that can really pivot and move to different locations. And honestly, having a flexible work experience isn't something that I ever experienced before. And it's been a game changer in my ability to be a professional and have impact and be a mother, frankly. So it's been great. And I did, like you, it didn't intend to be at Supermums, but my personal experience taking the consultancy course was so positive, and I loved the conversations that we get to have. And it's really been an honor to help people find new career opportunities. And originally, though, and I think, you've leaned into this as well, is around the consultancy and the roles. Sometimes people think in terms of, the consultant or what they imagine a consultant to be, but there's actually many different roles. So there's business analysts, there are people that become solution engineer or account executives, maybe sales or retention, being a sales director, being a consultant, like more of the typical, and moving into project management, solution architect, leading a practice, having a program management role, delivery director, technical architect. So just in this space, the more technical side of developer and technical consultant and technical director. So you can see there's from this sales account management side and very deep technical expertise and everything in between. So this is a space where there's so much opportunity.
Absolutely, yes, and like we said, that's the great thing. And with me down in the depths of North Devon, and you over in the US, and we have conversations every day, and that's the nice thing in the ecosystem. Is doesn't matter where you live in the world, we have conversations. I know I said this before, but we have regular conversations with people from all different backgrounds. Some people we speak to are maybe already in the space. They already work in Salesforce or for an organization as an end user, and they just want to pivot their career. And then we speak to other people that are really seasoned professionals but still want to learn more. You can never have too much knowledge.
For sure. And then, as we move into the app exchange, I want to just hover on this a bit more, because this is where I rarely meet people when I talk to people that they have this in mind. And I think there's such unique opportunities here. And you can hop into the app exchange, work with partner companies that may have a really special niche. And right now, with the artificial intelligence investment, we'll see more and more app exchange partners there. But there's the sales, there's alliance manager jobs. And that's what I did last, which was an alliance manager type of a role, where I had the opportunity to be working between an organization and Salesforce and partners. And it was just so interesting. sales operations, solution engineers, working with customers, and Salesforce, so the end users and Salesforce. And it's just a really great space that I think for many of us that are maybe newer in our careers, these companies and the app exchange companies are where you will find some really interesting roles that may not have the same type of demand or this as many people applying to opportunities because they're not as visible. So really encourage, any of us that are, later in our careers or early, but especially those that we tend to work with in our community that are maybe starting or pivoting their careers. This is a space that's worth exploring, definitely.
Yeah, for sure. And I see we've actually got in the chat, we have Yasmin, who I've spoken to before. I don't know if you have, Shellen. So thank you for your question. You can absolutely be a marketing cloud consultant, Yasmin, for sure. What I will do is if you want a chat personally with myself or Shellen for more in-depth conversation, you can click onto our link. But what I will do now is while Shellen continues to talk, I'll have a look and find you a little bit of resource that I can put in so that you can have a little bit of a look and do a bit more of a deep dive into that. But absolutely, you can be a marketing cloud consultant. Yes. Hope that answers the question.
Yes, and there's a really strong need and demand, and it is a growing demand. Marketing was part of this AI course that we were in week 2, and Martin Wislalem shared that kind of the second bucket of where there's a lot of demand and projects starting is in the marketing space. And so that is going to become even more vibrant. So some really interesting projects, and they tend to be that investment in marketing cloud is larger companies and some bigger projects, and kind of a really unique and cool job. But working for Salesforce is the last place in the ecosystem that we'll focus on today. And that is, their roles all around the world in different segments. They also will tend to be in verticals. So it might be life sciences, education. So it's a place where you can really pivot from another career where you may not have the Salesforce work experience, but you have the very relevant related work experience so that you understand the business at hand or the end user goals. So there's a tremendous number of sales roles within Salesforce, solution engineers, and working with customers to come up with solutions. There are solution engineers that get involved in the sales process on that front end of doing this evaluation of what the company's looking to accomplish. Customer success roles, there's quite a lot of those individuals to make sure that Salesforce customers are successful with their investments and their projects. And then management and an opportunity to really drive for results. And Salesforce is a public company. It's done very, very well over the years, even through, some of our most trying times in recent years, really exceeding projections in many, many cases. So those are the areas that I think are of most interest in terms of careers. I really encourage you to take a look at this leak with Salesforce and Salesforce Bend, and pay attention to some of these blue areas here. And that is just showing that you don't have to stay in one part of the ecosystem, that you might start in being with an end user, but you want to dive deeper into an area and see, perhaps you've learned about solutions that worked well at your company and you want to move into that app exchange, or if you want to move into leadership or managerial. Some of the attractiveness of working for a company with very attractive benefits, people will lean into Salesforce for those opportunities. So overall, there's just so much opportunity. Let's see. Yasmin, I did not see.
Can I just jump in on that? So yes, you're correct. So what you'll find is our training course will get you 2 certifications, or obviously prep you for 2, which is email specialist and marketing cloud admin. What our amazing trainer Spider will say to you is that consultancy is something that comes with experience. So you want to look to get in those 2 certs, you want to have some experience behind you, and then look to go into consultancy once you've got some experience behind you. So I hope, as I say, I hope that answers it. But if it doesn't and you want more of a conversation, we do have a lot of information that we can share with you in a one-to-one conversation. So please feel free to reach out to either of us at any point.
Yeah, and I would say for all of you, that first link to the career page on Salesforce, so this is the marketing one, you can just click into it and we'll actually share with you, what are the different types of roles. So this is a great one in terms of marketing with content, product, demand, email, analytics, being a marketing leader. And then you'll see that it will also go into these really fabulous resources. So there's a state of marketing report, the certification. So it'll show you what's available. And they have a whole place in their Trailblazer community. And then it will talk about actually open positions. And so you can see some open positions as well. But it's a great place to dive deeper into the types of, certifications. You can see where, if you look here, there's marketing cloud administrator, marketing cloud consultant, developer. There's all of these different elements. So just to confirm, the marketing cloud consultant is an official role, and this is a great place to go and just explore.
Absolutely. And, as I said before, in terms of all of these roles, you have to start somewhere. And that's why we always say admin is the way to start, even if that's not where you see yourself at your end goal. I mean, have a good look around. Read all the resources, some case studies as well, because they are so useful just to see what other people have done and where they've taken their careers just by starting with the foundation of admin and then going in a different direction. So it's, you may start off and say, to myself or Shellin, I have no idea what I want to do, or you might have a clear goal and timeline in mind. But either way, as I say, that's what we're here for, to advise and to assist you on your next step of your Salesforce journey.
Yes, absolutely. So we hope that this was a useful discussion and provide some insight into the various roles and career paths and the sectors within the ecosystem that can provide very promising career paths and opportunities. And we absolutely welcome, spend some time with us, book a call, talk about your career. We're happy to brainstorm with you and to share how we might be able to support you.
And just quickly, just to add into the mix of that, the admin course that we have running from week commencing the 6th of November is coming around so quickly. So if you're thinking of pivoting your career in 2024, then please book some time with us, because the deadline is next Friday. I can't believe that. The other thing to mention, and I don't know whether you can drop a link in now or later, but myself and Shellin will be on tomorrow night or morning or evening, wherever you are in the world, and we'll be sharing with you some great tips. Shellin will be mainly sharing, but I will be joining in as well. Some great tips on LinkedIn. Now, that particular call, you do need to have to book in. So if Shellin drops a link in, it will probably be after, but just keep a lookout. And then if you would like to join us for that, we would also love to have you there.
Yes, I'm dropping it in right now.
Amazing. Thank you.
Yes. Quick scramble there. So yes, please feel free to register, join us. It's a perfect opportunity to elevate and optimize your LinkedIn profile and get ready for opportunities in 2024. I can't even believe we're saying that. For those of you who are currently learning and training or looking at a course, take the opportunity to do it now and use this window of time to just network and build connections and share that you're in training, because people are so welcoming. And this little window is unique because people aren't thinking about, well, what do they want and who are they? They just can see your enthusiasm and interest and plugging in, and people will connect and be welcoming. And I really encourage, I know for many people, those quick little 15-minute, can I do a little informational interview? Can you tell me about a week in your life, is a great way to find out about the various jobs out there and how roles can be incredibly different depending on the environment and the company that you're working with.
Absolutely. So thank you so much for joining us once again. We love having your company on a Wednesday. For those of you that join tomorrow, we'll see you tomorrow. But other than that, we look forward to seeing you next week for whatever subject we do next week on Q&A. So thank you for joining us and take care. Have a great week.
Thanks, everyone. Bye-bye.
Bye.